Hello and welcome to Dickinson's Real Deal. I've just checked out the dealers. There may be some trouble today.
You think it's worth a lot more than that?
Yeah. That's not going to buy it, is it?
No.
You want me to earn something, don't you? I've come a long way, you know, today.
It's all right.
I think there's going to be some surprises at the auction today.
220, 240.
It's still worth a bit more than that.
Mounted huntsman and its foxhounds.
You turned down 100 on the advice of your husband. Good crowd of people have turned up. They brought in their treasures. They're determined to do business. You know why they're here. They want to walk away with the real deal.
David and the dealers have come to Ludlow, and the people of Shropshire are out in force. First up is a colourful lady who's got something to tempt David Ford. What have you brought, Gillian?
I bought a ceramic bowl.
And what do you think of David?
David looks a genuine sort of man, so I hope he'll give me £50.
We'll see about that, won't we?
Gillian, you brought me in a bowl. Probably made, when, 1970s? Something like that?
If you say so, yes.
Well, I'm sort of guessing. Now, in truth, I can admit this was probably made after I got into the antiques business. So it can't really, unless I'm an antique, that can't be called an antique, can it? But, in fairness to it, it is a collectible. And this, as you probably know, is a Newlyn thing, Celtic pottery.
Yes.
There is a little label here where it says Celtic pottery, Newlyn, Cornwall. It's not actually marked in any other way, but I guess the label's original. And you either like it or you don't like it. Do you like it?
You
do?
It's lovely, yes.
It's got a certain charm, hasn't it? And these things are beginning to be collected, as you're probably aware, which is why you probably brought it in today. How did it become part of your life?
It was given to me by someone who didn't particularly like it. I said, oh, I think it's lovely.
Yeah.
All right, you have it.
And so, thinking it's lovely, why have you now decided to sell it?
Well, because this programme was advertised, and I thought, well, what can I take along?
I mean, he's quite a cute-looking bull, isn't he, really?
Yes, he's got a pleasant face.
Yes, it's quite...
For a bull.
Yes, it's quite a friendly face.
Yes.
And it's quite an original kind of decoration, isn't it? With this black and then this heavy glaze. I think it's quite attractive in a strange kind of way.
I think he is.
So what's it worth? That's the thing, isn't it?
That's the important
thing. Have you any idea?
I have an idea what I would like for it, yes.
Well, there's £20.
Keep going, please.
There's £40. £60? I don't know whether that's too much or not enough because it's a little outside my area of expertise. Here's David, he'll help.
Let me tell you what the independent valuers and the auctioneers say and what I think as well. The estimation is 40 to 60. Because it's round about the 1970s, I think the £60 on the table is all of the money, and I think it's a good offer. Should you go to sale, I'm not so sure it will do as well as that, and especially with the deduction of commission. On this occasion, we are bowing to the judgment of Mr. David Ford, and we're saying, David, as always, you're on the money.
I think I agree.
You know what that means? It means I've offered too much. But I guess you're going to accept it, aren't you?
I'm going to accept it, yes. Thank you very much, David.
Good decision.
Thank you. I got £60, which is more than I expected. And David was a charming gentleman to work with.
I bought the bull. I don't know what I've done, really. If there's anybody out there that's interested in buying it, please call.
Wishing you hadn't been so bullish, David? No time to waste. Across the den, Corrie Jeffrey is inspecting a collection of family jewels.
I'm going to haggle hard to get what their true value is. I reckon it's worth top 300. I'm hoping to get around about 600.
That's double what Corrie has in mind. This could be tricky.
This is your jewellery, and I believe it belonged to more than one generation of your family.
Actually, my husband's family, yes.
Yeah?
This was his grandmother's.
Yeah?
This was his grandmother's. his mother's, grandmother's and grandfather's.
And you brought it along today to sell. Have you any reason that you decided to sell it?
We're moving back abroad.
Back abroad. So you've
Yeah.
come from abroad.
Yeah, we moved here from Menorca, although I was born in England.
Lovely.
We're not taking anything that we don't need anymore, and we have a daughter, and she's into the more chunky type of jewellery as I am.
Well, I must admit, a lot of this is it's old-fashioned, really, isn't it? Very pretty, very dainty, but not what kids want to wear today. You've got a very pretty Edwardian pendant, 1910, that kind of date. And it's set with 2 garnets, 9-carat gold, and it's textured. You see the little flowers have got that sort of pretty texturing. And it's on the original chain with the little old-fashioned clasp. Just a nice touch. You know why I like it? Because it doesn't have to fit. You can put on weight, you can lose weight, doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Exactly. He'll always be fine. And this is the little signet ring, which unfortunately has got some initials.
Yeah.
So that's really, the value is in the gold.
Yeah.
Your little pearl and ruby ring. I think it's actually a spinel and little tiny pearls. This would be the grandmother.
Yeah.
Anywhere from 1890 to 1920. And you've got a little Victorian 5 stones and 2 little diamonds and a pink spinel or a pink sapphire?
Pink
something
sapphire,
pink sapphire, yeah. Okay, now you know how much you want.
Yeah.
So let's give it a go then. So we're going to put down 50, 70, 90, 110, 130, 150,
Nowhere near.
170, 190, 210, 230, 250, 270,
No.
290,
No.
310. She's so definite, aren't
Yeah.
you?
Well, Evangeline, isn't it?
Yes.
Now, I know when you brought these pieces along, you had some expectations. Now, the independent valuers and the auctioneer, they're all saying £300 to £400. Really, you need to be thinking perhaps in the middle of the estimate as opposed to right at the top end of it. I'm going to get out of the way, there's 310. See what Corrie says and I'll come back.
At auction, you can have 2 ladies who really want them. You can do really well. So I'm just going to put another 20. So that's 330 on the table.
350 if we'd have a deal.
330 is my final offer. I'm sorry.
Can't do 10 more? Do 10 more and we've got a deal.
No, she's still going to say no.
We are so close to brokering a deal here by about £10, I think. £330 is not a bad offer because on a £300 to £400 estimation, if you got £400, and I've spoke with the auctioneer and he's not that confident he'll get to 400, you would still have to take £60 off and that would be 340. So it is nearly there. I'm going to say to you, that's about it, what's on the table.
Okay then, Corrie, you've got a deal.
We've got a deal, Evangeline. Thank you.
Thank you.
So not quite the £600 you were hoping for, eh?
I feel that maybe due to previous valuations, I thought they were worth a little more than what they were, but I'm happy.
That was a tough deal, and I went to the very last penny. I think there's £10 left in it.
Only £10, are you sure? Coming up, Dapper Dave goes for the jugular.
£50, John.
But John isn't impressed.
I think not.
And Helen's puzzled by a painting.
It seems to be a hunting scene. I'm not quite sure why the coat's green rather than red.
Do you know the answer?
Welcome back to Dickinson's Real Deal.
The locals are flocking to the den with their treasures. John has brought a character jug and he rates it very highly.
I would like about £400 for it.
But David Hakeney's not so sure.
A lot of these items are half the money they were.
Come on, David, do your best.
Well, you've brought me a piece of Royal Dalton in here.
I have indeed,
Very
yeah.
famous character. General Smuts, that's who it is.
General
yes.
Smuts, yeah.
And there he is, Field Marshal, the
Yeah.
Right Honourable J.C. Smuts, Prime Minister of the Union of South Africa and Commander-in-Chief South African Forces. So it tells you everything there. And this particular Dalton mark here is sort of pre-60s, I would say, you know. Is this something you've had a long time?
About 25 years now. I did inherit it. And
Oh, I see you inherited
a
it.
few other things from a friend of mine that was an antique dealer.
Why do you want to sell him?
I became a grandfather for the first time.
Congratulations.
Thank
John.
you. I would like to start up an ISA for my grandson, and I thought there's one way of doing it. Yeah.
Yes. I can tell you one thing, that all this Royal
Right.
Dalton character jugs were making much more money a few years ago when the American market was strong and
So I believe.
lots of collectors of Dalton.
Yeah.
This is a rather nice one, and this was quite a rare one, you know.
It is perfect as
Yes.
well. It's been on display for 20 odd years. It hasn't been tucked in a cupboard or anything.
No,
It's
the
been
kids-
on a dresser, so
Yeah.
I quite miss him if he does go.
Oh. So you may sell me if I give you enough money.
Well, yeah. Does depend rather.
I better get the money out then, haven't I?
Right.
£50, John. How's that?
I think not.
No. About £100, John.
No.
Nice, isn't it? Look, £100.
Well, it
little
looks
pot.
very nice, yeah, under these lights.
£150, John.
No, I'm not tempted at that. Sorry.
Not tempted.
No.
Am I a long way out?
A fair bit. A fair bit, yeah.
I'm going down to the 20s now, £170.
Oh dear. That's a bad sign.
I'm slowing up.
No. I think we're a long way off.
£190.
No.
I better change these two then for another one.
Yeah,
of
I
the,
think so. It's
the other
not such
50
a nice
jobs.
colour. It's 200.
200 for
Yeah.
General Smuts.
You're on the way now.
There's a bit of advice coming along here.
Well, it's a difficult one, John, because there was a time when these Dalton vases were flying high and they were doing brilliantly well.
Okay.
But the marketplace has gone down considerably. Now, £400 to £500 is the estimation on this. £200 would seem low as far as the indicator is of our independent valuers, but I really don't know which way to jump on this. If you're not happy with the 200, you can go to auction.
Yes.
In this case, I think that might be worth a gamble to test the market.
Right.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do, John. 250, and that would leave me a very small profit in my book, but that's what I want to give, and I'm not offended if you want to go to auction, John.
Okay. No, I think that's fair enough then.
We had a deal?
Yes, we have a deal.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Thank you for bringing
Thank
it
you,
in.
David. If I go to auction, I've got costs and that type of thing. So I've taken the 250 and I'm running.
I'm sure I'll get a profit out of it, nothing like I would have done some years ago.
But you'd have paid a lot more for it too.
Behind the scenes, we have a team of experts. They check and inspect every single item before it's placed in front of our dealers. And it's their independent valuation that you see coming up on your screen.
Sue?
Next up, Sue's brought some art in to show Helen Gardner.
It seems to be a hunting scene. I'm not quite sure why the coat's green rather than red. It's a decorative painting, I think, rather than fine art.
I'm very excited about meeting Helen. I've seen her on the television, but I've not met her before.
Well, here's your chance.
Now, do you own this picture?
Yes, I do, yes.
Where did it come from? Is it a family piece?
Yes, it is a family piece.
Yeah.
That is actually my grandfather that's in the
Really?
painting. It was my grandparents, and then it was my mother's, and then my mother gave it to me.
So this is your grandfather?
It is, yes.
And he's hunting there?
Yes, he was kennelman of the Ludlow Hunt, which is local,
Local?
to this area.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Now, one question I have to ask you. Why? I always thought they wore red coats, but obviously this is a green coat.
Yes.
Why is it green as opposed to red?
Maybe it's because he was kennelman and not master, because I know the masters all wear the red coats.
Yes. Well, why are you selling your grandfather's portrait?
Well, years ago, it was always used as a fire screen.
I see.
And
a little bit unloved, perhaps.
Yes, yes. And I thought, well, somebody might like to enjoy it on the wall.
Yes. Well, now, this artist, it's A. Harris St. John.
Yes.
1932. Do we know anything about this artist at all?
Unfortunately not, no.
It looks a competent artist, but it doesn't look terribly professional. But it's nice colours and it's decorative.
Yeah.
Was he always on a white horse or was it any horse?
Any horse, I think, yes.
His own horse?
Yes, yes.
I see. And he would be in charge of the hounds?
Yes.
I see. And would he have blown the horn?
Yeah. It was usually pushed in front in the coat.
I think it's just been painted because he's the kennelman.
Yes.
And he would have been an important person in the hunt.
Yeah. I know he was well respected.
I'm sure, yes. Well, you can see that.
Yes.
Yes. So, do you want a lot of money for your grandfather's portrait?
Yes.
Well, I don't know that you're going to get a lot of money from me. There's 20, 40, 60, 80 pounds for your grandfather's picture. What do you think about that?
No.
No?
No.
You think it's worth a lot more than that?
Yes.
There's £100. What do you think about that? You think it might do better in auction?
Or a bit more?
Well, I'm thinking because it's local to Ludlow.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just wondering if it might be better in a local auction because it's a local subject. But I think I'm going to have to stick at 100. I think that's as much as I want to gamble on it.
Right.
Because I only see it. I have no sentimental attachment to it.
No.
So I only see it as a decorative picture.
Right.
There's my £100.
Right.
That's as far as I'm prepared to gamble. But maybe you would like to do a little gambling of your own.
Yes, I think I would. I'd like to go to the auction.
Well, I think that's the best choice. I hope it gets more than my £100.
Thank you very much.
so much for bringing it in.
Thank you.
Best of luck, Sue. The Duke and auctioneer David Brettle will look after you.
He was after this.
Helen offered you £100.
Yes.
Were you tempted?
Yes.
Why didn't you take the £100?
Because my husband said, whatever you do, go to auction.
Okay. Well, this is what this show is all about. You never know on the day what happens in the sale room. £80 is the reserve. We need to do better because you turned down £100. Can you hear them? Tally-ho! They're coming up over there.
Lot 74 is an unframed but mounted oil on canvas. The mounted huntsman and his foxhounds. I bids on this. I'm starting at 40, 5, 50.
Tricky one. You turned down 100 on the advice of your husband. What's he called? Your husband?
Tim.
Bad decision.
75, I'm bid. At £75 right in front of me now, may I say 80 anywhere? At £75, 8. 78, I'm bid £80 now. £80 bid, at £80 sold away, 80.
Okay, good news and bad news in some ways because £80 he just eventually got to the reserve. We have commission to take away, which is going to leave you with approximately £65. Your husband said, have a gamble, go to auction. Well, we've been to auction, and Sue's going home with 65 quid, so don't shout at her, okay? On the day, the real deal was with the wee Helen Gardner at £100. Helen, you know your hunting pictures, girl.
Coming up, Will Corrie's offer for a brooch impress?
I'm going to put down £30.
This could be awkward. Welcome back to Dickinson's Real Deal from Ludlow in the historic county of Shropshire. Camilla has a little accessory that she hopes will put a big twinkle in Corrie's eyes.
Today I've brought in a brooch that I've inherited from my mother-in-law. I'm hoping to get about £60. I'm a bit nervous, but we'll see.
Don't worry, Corrie will look after you.
I believe the little brooch that you brought along, it's not yours.
No, it's my soon-to-be mother-in-law.
Your soon-to-be mother-in-law.
Yeah.
That means that you're about to marry her son.
Yeah. It's all exciting.
Yeah.
We've got plans, but obviously we haven't got any savings, so saving for it.
So this is going to go towards your wedding?
Towards it, yeah.
And you wouldn't like to keep it for your wedding as something old?
No.
To wear. So you've got something you...
I've already got all that sorted.
Well, do you know anything about this little brooch?
I know it's probably 19th century.
Yeah.
But that's all I really know about it.
And your mother-in-law gave it to you to sell?
Yeah. It's what she's inherited.
She inherited it because it's a bit older than she is.
Yeah.
You're right, it's late 19th century. And it's made of tiny, tiny little pieces of glass.
Yeah.
Laid in a mosaic, in a frame of low-grade silver, probably Italian. And they call this type of work micro-mosaic, tiny mosaic. And in here you've got a dove for peace.
Oh, yeah.
And you've got an anchor for hope.
Oh, yeah.
And it's made in the shape of a cross.
Wow.
So that's faith. So really, it's a version of faith, hope and peace, or faith, hope and charity.
Yeah.
So it's very pretty and very typical design that you'd see at the end of the 19th century, and probably brought back as a souvenir from a trip to Italy or a holiday in Italy. Now usually these have got tiny bits missing, and you can see there's something missing there and a couple of bits there. But it's in good condition for its age and for the type of thing it is.
Yeah.
I'm going to put some money down.
Okay.
I'm going to put down 20, I'm going to put down £30. That's not going to buy it, is it?
No.
I don't see it at an awful lot more. So I think if I put down another 10, that's £40. You'd have to get nearly 50 at auction to do better than that. And that is going to be my final offer. So it's up to you to decide.
I'll go with that.
We have a deal then.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
And thank you, and the best of luck.
I think it went well. I was hoping for a bit more. £40 is the lower end of the offer, but that's brilliant.
I think I paid her exactly what it's worth, but she's such a sweetheart. I'm happy to do so.
Sounds like your wedding invite will be in the post, Corrie. Across the den, Donald has brought in a timepiece for David Ford that he hopes will tick all the boxes.
I would like £200 to £300 for it, if he's generous.
To make sure he is, the Duke and auctioneer David Brettle are determined not to miss a second.
Donald, you brought me in to sell a rather nice-looking Longines watch. So what's the story?
Well, in 1982, I went to India with Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher.
Oh, I see. In what capacity were you with her?
I was in the forces, in the military police, and we went as security to the accommodation.
Oh, wow. And this, I don't think I can say it correctly, Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan, is it? Who was president of the United Arab Emirates, gave you this watch?
Yes, part of the tour, yeah. We went for 2 weeks.
How prestigious.
Very nice.
Did everybody who was involved in security get a watch?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, nice. So it's a gold watch?
Gold watch, yeah. 18 carat, I think, yeah.
So, as it was such a special thing to be given, why are you selling it?
Well, it's been in the box ever since I got it. I've never worn it.
Oh, really?
It's been in the cupboard, and I thought, well, as you were here, I'll bring it out.
And sell it?
Sell it.
Get a few bob for it, maybe?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good maker, as we know. There's a little mark on the side here. I mean, it's not an 18K or an 18 carat mark, but one would assume that it probably is. It's all working anyway.
Yes, yeah.
Longines, not a bad name, not top of the tree, but a good, solid name. What's your feelings about it?
Very typical of its age. Bought probably by the 100 or 1,000 by the Sultan. Is it hugely fashionable? No.
No, I think you're absolutely right. But you know, David, that strap, that crocodile strap, today could cost you 250 quid to replace that.
I'm sure that it could, but it doesn't alter the fact of the watch as it is.
OK. So where are you going to place your estimation?
Well, I put it between £200 and £300.
What's he going to put on the table? Well, let's see.
50, 100, 150. Just going to go to the other pocket. 170. £190 for your watch. How does that sound, Donald?
I'd like more.
Oh.
A little bit more.
Do you know everybody says that? Everybody wants more. Oh, here's David to give us some advice.
Just before you make any decision, let me tell you what I think, Donald. Now, 200 to 300 is the estimation. I have to tell you, I think it's on the low side. David's got to sell it. He's got to make a profit. I'm very aware of that. But I think at 2 to 3, that's very realistic, that estimate. And I think 190 is a bit on the low side.
Thank you.
Ah, well, that was helpful for you.
It was, yes.
I don't want to go a lot more, actually. 210. $230, and I think that's me. I think that's a fair bid for that watch. Are you going to take my money, or are you going to have a little gamble at auction?
I'd like to go to auction. Take the
Going to have a gamble?
See if you can.
All right, Donald, good luck. Hope it goes well for you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Should do more than that. I'm happy we can sell that for.
We've got a confident auctioneer. Now, all we need are bids in the sale room.
£60.
Well, first of all, the estimate was 200 to 300, and the reserve was 200. But in the meantime, I think you've increased the reserve to 300.
Yes, yeah.
I don't blame you, because at £200, the time you take off the commission,
Yeah.
it probably isn't worth selling. So I'm going to say you did the right thing. The question is, will it bring the £300? I'm not so sure. We're about to find out.
Gold gents wristwatch, circa 1980. Full start me now. 300, 400. 200 is my bid. 200 the bidding's with me at £200. 220, 240.
It's 240. It's
240.
creeping. It's still worth a bit more than that.
260, 280, 280. Anybody else? 300 on the net.
Just in time, £300 on the internet has come in.
You're out in the room. At £300 on the internet.
You did right, Donald, to increase the reserve.
Sold this time at 300.
The gamble has gone down at £300. Now, we've got a little bit of commission to take off. £246. That's what you will be going home with. Are you satisfied with that?
Yes, yeah.
It doesn't still sound a lot of money for a gold Longines watch, as far as I'm concerned. You did the right thing. You increased your reserve to 300, £246 you'll be going home with. That was the real deal.
Up next, Elizabeth is sitting on a gold mine.
You're not smiling.
No, not yet.
But David Hackney keeps his money close to his chest. And the Duke is living the American dream.
Gee, just look at that vase, honey. We could take it home with us in the luggage.
The den is still busy with sellers looking to do business. Jim has brought something eye-catching in to show Helen.
This is a piece of Scottish glass, and I will try to buy it.
Let's see if she can get the vase back home.
You're from Scotland, I believe?
I was born in Elgin, Morrisshire, yes.
In Elgin, oh, very close to where I live. Anyway, tell me about this lovely vase you've brought. Have you owned it for a long time, Jim?
About 10 years.
And do you like the vase?
I like the vase, but we're downsizing, so...
It's time to move it on.
It's time for us to move on as well.
Well, I think it's a very nice vase. It's Scottish, but it has an Italian connection. And the connection is that there were two brothers, the Vassart brothers, who were of Italian extraction, and they came over to Scotland and probably had connections with Murano glass.
Okay.
So they started up glass blowing in Scotland. Then they split and they created two different factories.
Yes.
This is Monarch glass.
Yes,
And
been told it's monarch, yes.
the other one was called Vase Art. Monarch glass has all the gold through it.
It's nice, isn't it?
Now, I think they still make glass in Perthshire. I think it's now called Strathearn. So I'm not sure if the factory's still in operation, but it was up till fairly recently. So this is a nice vase, and I do like it. But we have to talk about price.
We
do you
do.
want a lot of money for your vase?
I certainly do.
So I'm going to put some money down and see if I can tempt you.
Okay.
So there's 20. There's 40. How about £50 for your vase?
No.
No?
A little bit more, please.
A little bit more.
Well, some more, please.
Let me take this £10 away
Yes.
and let me offer you £60 for your vase.
Maybe just stretch it a little bit more, please.
A little. I've got to sell this and make a profit.
I assure you make a profit. It's a lovely vase.
How about £65 for your vase? Here's David with some advice.
When you came today, Jim, did you have a price in mind that you thought your vase was worth?
I had, yeah, a little bit more than that.
A little bit?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
the independent value was to say 50, 60, 60, 80. I think it's a very, very attractive vase. The colours are great. I could see those American tourists. Gee, just look at that vase, honey. We could take it home with us in the luggage. I think what's on the table is a fair offer. I have to say, if you went to the auction, would you get 100? I don't know. You'd come away with 85. Okay. At the moment, 65.
65.
Is it another fiver, Helen?
Is this old purse to come out again? This shabby old purse?
Another fiver.
Another fiver.
£70, we have a deal.
I'm out of the way.
We have a deal.
It looks
Yes,
like the wee
please.
Helen has done the deal.
You and David have charmed me into this. You know that, don't you?
We do.
£70.
Thank you.
Do we have a deal, Jim?
We have a deal.
We have a deal. Thank you for bringing in such a nice
Thank you,
thing.
Helen.
It's the last deal of the day for David Halkney, but Elizabeth is not going to let him off lightly.
I brought in a collection of gold jewellery and I'm not going to accept anything less than £1,000 for it.
That told you, eh, David? Are you ready to stump up?
Well, the big notes are coming out for this next lot. There's quite a lot of money's worth here.
Here we go, then.
You brought a nice collection of jewellery in here today.
Well, I hope you think so.
Oh, this looks very exciting to me. Tell me something about it, Elizabeth.
Well, the sovereigns I had with my husband, which
yes.
is that, and that one there.
Yes.
The sovereign earrings were also a gift of my husband.
So we've got a pair of earrings here, and they're George V, match pair, and they're 1912.
1912.
And then we've got a Victorian sovereign, and this one's dated 1901. Her last year on the throne. Yes. And this is George V again. I think this is 19...
What was that one?
18.
1918. Mm-hmm.
And then we've got another Victorian one here in the mount. And of course these coins are 22 karat gold.
Yes.
And your mount and chain is 9 karat gold.
Right.
So there's an awful lot of gold here. Not that we're going to scrap it, but it comes to quite a lot of money these days.
So I believe.
So tell me, Elizabeth, why are you selling these?
Well, because I never wear it. And it's just there. I'm almost too frightened to wear it, quite honestly.
Oh, yeah.
And my daughter said to me only last week, why don't you get rid of that gold, Mum? She said, I don't want it. I'll only get rid of it. Why don't you get rid of it and go and have a good cruise? That's what she said to me. Not that I intend to do it, but that was the plan. I might, who knows?
Oh, you must. Well, there's a lot of money's worth here, Elizabeth.
Right, well...
I'll get the dosh out then and see if I can...
As long as you've got the right amount.
I think I've got enough.
Oh, well done.
£50, £100, 150, 200, 250, 300, 350, 400, 450, £500. You're not smiling?
No, I'm not yet. Nowhere near.
550, 600, 650, 700, 750, 800. Are we warming up, Elizabeth?
Oh, not really yet.
All right, okay. 850, 900, 950, 1,000.
That's looking better.
I thought that was a good bid. 1,000. No?
A little more. It's good, but I would have liked a little more.
Really? £1,000 not a bad bid, you know, for something that's not very fashionable.
Oh yes, but the value's there in the gold. Mm.
True. That's why I've offered you 1,000.
One more, two more.
I'm going to go into these now.
Oh, that's a shame. They're a lot less value.
I've got to
aren't
earn
they?
something, you know, out of this, Elizabeth. You tell my bank manager. 1,020. £1,040 I'd want to give you, Elizabeth, for this lot of jewellery. That's with no commission, don't forget. I'm trying hard here, Elizabeth.
One more.
Look, there's a tenner there, that's one more. £1,050, that's like £1,250, is it, in the auction room? I think they're worth 1,100, that's what I could probably sell them for. You want me to earn something, don't you? I've come a long way, you know, today.
So have I.
Look, I'll swap this one for here, look. My final bid is £1,060.
Right.
It's a very good bid, I promise you.
Mm. Yes. Well, thank you very much. I will accept it.
I've had a deal.
Deal.
Thank you,
Thank
Elizabeth.
you very much.
Thanks for bringing it in.
Very nice. I'm very happy with my deal today. I'm now going home with 60 quid more than I expected to be going home with. Thank you very much.
This is a very close deal, this one. There will be a small profit, I'm sure.
And it's been a tale of small profits all round today. Bottom of the heap is David Ford.
I bought the bull. If there's anybody out there that's interested in buying it, please call.
David did manage to find a buyer, but only for £65. Corrie did a little better with the jewellery.
I went to the very last penny. I think there's £10 left in it.
She knows her market and sold them for £340, exactly £10 profit. And Camilla's brooch is still unsold because it needs repair. Helen managed to take the one-art vase back to Cromarty.
I'm sure I'll make £15–20 on it.
She wasn't far wrong, selling the vase to a private collector for £95. The top dealer today is David Halkney. Not that it's much to write home about. After selling the character jug at auction, he made a small £15 profit. He also made off with Elizabeth's jewellery.
Let's hope that the price of gold holds for the next 24 hours.
Unfortunately, the gold price did fall and David made less profit than he hoped.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The real winners today are in fact the sellers. They have carted off over £2,000.
It's been an exciting day today, lots of atmosphere. People have really enjoyed themselves, lots of buying and selling. We always like to see that. Don't forget to join me, David Dickinson, next time for Dickinson's Real Deal. See you